Welcome to Arcade Audio.
Welcome to Dilettante Ball. I'm Johnny.
I'm Spencer.
Here on Dilettante Ball, we go on Wikipedia.
We click random article.
And we talk about it.
Yeah, we do.
What you got?
Boy, we got a Patreon.
Yeah.
Check that bad boy out if you
Yeah,
want.
patreon.com/arcadeaudio.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out.
Yeah, we'll send you a postcard on your birthday. We'll send you some fun merch later on in the year.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of fun archive stuff.
It's a good time.
It's a great time.
It's a good place.
It's like our Chuck E. Cheese.
Where
everyone's
a kid can be
saying
a
it.
kid.
Yeah.
Was that Chuck E. Cheese? Or was that Showbiz exclusively?
I'm not sure. But it's certainly Arcade Audio. It's certainly patreon.com/arcade
Arcade
audio.
Audio, where a kid can be a kid.
Yum.
You know, I was thinking the other day,
Mm-hmm.
there's so much. It was when I was editing the episode 2 or 3 episodes ago.
Okay.
I said something tasted great but was less filling, and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck that commercial is.
I don't either, and I know that slogan for
It's
sure.
a beer thing.
Oh, is it? I was gonna say maybe Diet Coke or Sprite.
It's
maybe?
definitely beer. I don't know what
maybe
beer.
like MGD 64 or something like that.
It's older than that. MGD 64 is that's a millennials
newfangled,
beer.
Yeah, that's that's the tab of beer.
It's crazy that like advertisement works so well in such a way that it like reverberates through generations. Like the only reason I know that is probably because other stuff referenced it or made fun of it, and I watched that
Absolutely.
stuff. Like
I made a Karnak reference a few weeks ago. Do you know who that is?
yeah, it's some fucking Johnny Carson character.
Yeah, I made a reference to that reference to my boss, and he like cracked up laughing, and I was like, dude, I've never even seen that. I don't know what it is. Like. But yeah, just because I've watched like Family Guy when I was in high school and they maybe referenced it.
Well, for Christmas one year, my grandparents or my aunt or something got me. For a while, they were selling like best of Johnny Carson tapes on TV.
Yeah,
and they got them for me.
I remember that.
They were fucking funny.
That's awesome.
So I am very familiar with a very slim section of Johnny Carson's work.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
On the Tonight Show.
Yeah, 78 to 79.
The most famous thing is they had an axe thrower. Have you seen this?
Oh, I have seen this.
And he throws the axe at the guy's crotch, and then the audience laughs for like 4.5 hours because it's in like 1962. It's the funniest thing.
It's the first funny thing they've ever seen.
Balls. It's the first time anyone thought of balls on TV. And
Honestly,
everyone loses their mind. They got fined a lot because they could not cut to commercial for 8 hours.
Really?
No,
but I mean, it's
like
it's not crazy.
8 solid hours of laughter.
It's just like we can't stop it. Please, someone help!
And it's so funny because watching it is like not even that.
It's
pretty
like, funny.
It's like it's like right by his balls.
Right.
But just the funny thing is just
what's it contagious being there?
Yeah. It's just how much they're losing it. Is the funny thing.
I'm sure you've been at an improv or comedy show where like just something just tickles the audience just right.
The
And
best,
there's just like these waves of laughter of like we can't stop laughing because
the best is when you're performing and something that you totally don't expect to get that, like it's just like, oh yeah, I got him at the store, and then it's like, bro, the stores. Yeah, it's so
got
weird.
Them where?
It's so funny that like
just
something will just like tickle someone like that.
Just the right like cosmic vibration, man.
The ghouls are sensing your positive vibrations and are beginning to materialize.
What is that?
It's the Haunted Mansion.
Damn, dude, nice,
dude.
Who the hell else can quote Haunted Mansion? That's like a hidden talent.
Quoting the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. Did you ever watch? I'm gonna cut you off for a second. What would you do?
Yeah.
There was sometimes it would like have a thing where it was like, oh, hidden talent. What's your hidden talent?
Oh yeah.
And I was always like, fuck, dude, I don't know.
Well, they wouldn't let me do that because that was a Nickelodeon show, and they wouldn't promote Disney stuff on Nickelodeon.
True.
Especially not in Orlando.
No, where a kid can be a kid. No way.
I believe I'm going to go to Disney in March.
I mean, if you believe hard enough.
I wished upon a star.
In March? That's pretty soon.
Yeah. I'm stoked.
What's the occasion?
We're going home. And my sister can score some tickies.
Nice,
so.
dude. That's what they call tickets in Orlando?
Yeah. Also, I'm going to do the Star Wars VR thing. Have you heard about this?
No, what is this?
So
is
in
it Star Wars VR?
in Disney Springs, which
I don't know
used
what
to
that
be
is either.
downtown Disney, which used to be Disney Village.
Okay.
There is like a Star Wars VR experience. So
Okay.
you wear like a vest. It's like you wear a vest and a helmet, and then you go into a room, but like the stuff that you see, you can touch things in real life.
Okay.
You should look up reviews and stuff. It
Dude,
looks
that sounds crazy.
bonkos.
I don't think I could do it.
It
It stresses me out, and I don't know why.
I am certain it will make me very sick.
Okay.
And I don't care.
Did you see this thing? It's not really funny, but I'm laughing anyway. Where there was like this VR room where people were just like hanging out, and everyone looked like, you know, the Noid and Captain Crunch, and you know,
Sure.
everyone was dressed like someone was like a Sailor Moon, and so everyone's wearing their full. Yeah,
already
it's like
tickling
picture
me.
like, you know, Second Life but VR.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so everyone's wearing the helmet and then the gloves, you know, so it's like a full, like if you're doing jumping jacks, like it looks like Rick from Rick and Morty is doing jumping jacks.
But it's just a room of
Yeah,
people.
it is. It was just a room. It's just like, oh, look what I'm doing. Look at me. I'm a monster truck. It's just, you know.
Okay.
But then like somebody in real life started having like a seizure.
Oh,
But the
fuck.
VR is so good that they could tell he was having a seizure.
Whoa.
And so like one guy was like Morty was like, oh Jesus, is he okay? Like in the Morty voice said that. And so everyone's like, oh my God, like David, are you okay? And someone's like, hey, if he's having a seizure, you just gotta let it play out, man. And then the dude stopped, and you can see like his avatar of like, you know, some Star Fox character like sat up, and they're like, hey David, or whatever, like, are you cool? He's like, yeah, I don't know what happened. And so like,
What the fuck?
and so like, but no one knew how to react. Or I should say is everyone knew exactly how to react, which is what you do in real life.
But it was the Trix Rabbit.
But it was the Trix Rabbit, and no one could really affect him because he was 2,000 miles away in Bora Bora or whatever.
Oh, so they weren't in the same room.
No. This is all
Oh,
virtual reality.
shit.
Yeah. And so everyone was like gathered around him, and I half expected someone to be like, back up, give him some air. But then I was like, well, it's VR. Like, he doesn't.
That must be such a crazy like disconnect in your brain to
yeah.
like, fuck.
Yeah. So there's all these like strange, like cartoon villains that were all like concerned for this.
Dick Dastardly.
Yeah, exactly.
And
the dude was-
Gargamel.
Yeah, Simon Belmont was there from Castlevania, whipping everybody with his whip.
That's so wild.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and the guy was fine, totally fine, but it was just such a surreal, strange thing that like we're getting close to just having stuff like that happen.
That's so crazy.
It was bizarre, dude.
What? Okay. A woman gives childbirth in VR.
I gotta get the VR.
The baby comes out, immediately strap it in.
You gotta.
And it's the baby from Dinosaurs.
Gotta love me. I mean, we're not
That's
far off
beautiful.
from something like
That's
that, right?
beautiful.
Like in utero, like implanting the VR chip, you know,
Whoa.
in their medulla oblongata, or you know,
What were the things called that you would put in TVs? V chips. You remember that? You put a V
to
chip
protect
in
your
TV?
little
Yeah.
kids,
Your little ones.
your little ones from watching the South Parks.
Just like there's an Orlando radio station called Z88.3, and their tagline is "Safe for little ears." But it's just Christian rock.
I've seen that bumper sticker.
Oh, Big Green Z.
Just plumb everywhere.
Yeah, or maybe Big Yellow Z.
Oh, you're asking the wrong guy. One of the two, certainly. A big, like a black background. And,
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Classic colors, black and green or yellow.
Well, I mean, it felt like a very '90s logo that they have never updated.
Yeah, totally. Like it all. I mean, it's not, but it almost looked like a commercial bumper for like Saved by the Bell.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
something like
totally.
that.
It's because it almost looks spray painted.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you want to get an article?
Yeah, let's get an
What if the article is Z88.3?
That'd be out of control.
Oh well, close. Gliese 581d.
581d. What does that mean?
I could tell you.
Okay.
It's a possible extrasolar planet orbiting within the Gliese, Gliese.
I absolutely thought you were talking about a production code for the TV show Glee.
Whoa!
Like Glee's, 2581, aka, best wheelchair ever.
That. Nope. No.
So this is a solar system, or
It's within the Gliese 581 system.
okay.
That's funny that they use the same naming conventions as Star Wars.
That struck me too.
Gliese 581d in the Gliese 581 system.
It's almost as if Star Wars is real.
I wouldn't be surprised if real scientists named shit based on the way they did Star Wars.
What do you mean?
Like
Tatooine?
Not
Did it
Tatooine.
ever bother you that it was called Tatooine and Dantooine?
Very much.
Okay, me
It
too.
bothered me.
It was like, it's a planet we're never going to see. Can you just call it like
Anything.
Cryonesis or something?
And then like Mos Eisley, and then in Phantom Menace, oh, it's Mos Espa.
Well, that makes sense.
There,
Johannesburg, Petersburg,
I guess
Leesburg.
on this, but presumably far away.
On the same planet, though. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, fair.
Like even, I don't know, Bumbleshire, and then
Bumbleshire.
Jacksonville.
Right. Sure. That's fair.
Anywho, what I mean is like Dagobah in the Dagobah system.
Right.
That's
Like, are we the Earth system? Just because, like, we're like the,
what is our? Are we just called the solar system?
the Milky Way. Oh, wait. No, shit. Fuck. I don't know.
Are things even named like that? Really? We're too dumb.
Well, we are dumb. That's for sure. I know that. I know that a scientist named a species of lice after Gary Larson, the Far Side comic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I said it before. I'll say it again. They're my favorite Far Side comic, which you just posted in a group chat today.
Yeah, I love it.
It's.
It's very funny.
I mean, that might be like my favorite
Joke or like style of
bit of like that. That might be my favorite like piece of comedy of all time. Is that
that's
particular?
your who's on first.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like two dudes sitting on a bench in hell, and one of them is whispering to the other, and he's just saying, "I hate this place."
Would you say that's like your comedy Rosetta Stone? Like that's like who you are. Like that's your essence of. Like if you trace it back to like you as a 7-year-old or something.
It's so funny.
It's very funny. You're not wrong. It's very funny.
I love that he's like whispering it too, like
Yeah,
the
like
other people don't know. He
doesn't
want to bum them out.
Or like he doesn't want to like oh, this guy that's torturing me is just doing his best. Like I don't want to.
It sucks. I've seen this comic 1,000 times. Oh god.
There's something really good about Far Side where like I've looked at it recently and I feel like I've been pretty like looked at it with a critical eye.
Sure.
And I'm not saying everyone's like a home run, but like none of them are bad or like cringy or anything. You know what I mean? Like there's this weird like funny, smart like earnestness to all of them where it's like, this is a good job you're doing. He's like the Calvin and Hobbes of like, single panel.
They're so good.
Yeah. Because there's comics now that have tried to take up the Gary Larson mantle and they're hit or miss.
Yeah,
some
I
of
just
them.
sent you one the other day. It was like fleas in the bread box or something.
Something like that, yeah.
And it was fine. It was serviceable.
Yeah, like every like third comic was like pretty good.
Gary Larson, there's his like the one comic that he did that he like did he's like, this is the only one that I regret.
Oh wow, what?
It's and then he explains, and I will explain to you why he does not like this particular one. It's a cow standing in front of like a table, and the table has a bunch of like weird objects on it.
Yes.
And it says cow tools.
Yes.
And one of them,
and all the tools look bizarre.
Yeah, but one of them looks kind of reminiscent of a saw.
Okay.
So Gary Larson said like he regrets making that one look similar to a saw because then people got caught up thinking that they were all analogs to a real tool rather than just if cows used tools, they would look fucked up and weird. But people were trying to like read into it too far because he happened to make one look too much like a real tool. And he was like really kicking himself over that one.
That's right, and especially because like the joke's not even worth it.
No,
like,
it's
not
such
even
an
a great abstract,
joke.
weird. Yeah.
He wrote a book too,
like a
children's book.
No, I didn't know that.
It's called "There's a Hair in My Dirt."
Oh, and it's about a family of worms.
Yeah,
yeah. I remember seeing that in the Books A Million I frequented.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it good, or have you read it?
Know.
Or?
He was like a some sort of biologist or
oh wow, that makes total
entomologist
sense.
or something.
Okay.
entomologist or etymologist? Which is the one that studies bugs?
Entomologist.
There's another great one. The caption is how entomologists die.
Okay.
And it's a dude in a lab coat in a lab, and he's like on his back with his legs rolled up.
Like a dead roach.
Yeah, they're all very good.
They're all pretty fun.
What a great service we're doing, describing Far Side comics to people.
There was an episode of Happy Days where Fonzie got hit with a service tray and went blind for 2 episodes. And in the first episode, when he's laid up in his bed, does Ralphie have a sister, like a hot sister or something? Or is his name even Ralphie?
Ralph Mouth?
No. What Potsy? No, not Potsy. The red-haired idiot.
Ralph Mouth.
Ralph Mouth, not Ralph Mouth. God damn it! What's his name?
It's not Archie.
The man who directed Saving
Ron
Private
Howard.
Ryan. Ron
Clint
Howard.
Howard's brother.
Clint Howard's brother.
What was his Richie?
Richie Cunningham.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Joni.
Richie Cunningham have a Joni? Was that
Joni is his sister. Yeah.
Okay, she looks like Betty a little bit. Am I just like completely?
You're every
And Ralph
every
Mouth looks like Hamburger Jones or whatever his name is.
You are
Princeton boy. What's his
Pendleton
name?
Forsyth Ward the Third.
What the
No,
hell?
Jones the Third. Pendleton Forsyth. No, Forsyth Pendleton Jones the Third.
Is that Jughead's real name?
Yeah,
That's cool. Anyway, Richie's hot sister is like reading the comics to Fonzie as he's blind. So he's like, and in the second panel, whatever.
When I was a kid, I assumed that Happy Days was a show from the 50s.
I did too. Yeah, it wasn't until much later that I realized it was made in the 70s.
80s, I think. Was it 70s?
Because there was a string of TV shows that were
Wonder
all
Years.
made. Wonder Years is one of them that revolves around a time period that was 20 years before the airing.
What a weird thing.
It is weird. Yeah.
Do we have? We must have that.
So that
There's that one show, the Denizens, not the Denizens, the Goldbergs.
Yeah,
I think takes place in like the 80s or something.
Sure,
we had
sure.
that 70s show, but that was more.
That was in the 90s.
That was more like that felt different and not
super like this is the 70s.
Yeah, it was more like the joke was that it was the joke of it was that it was the 70s.
Right.
Whereas
but it really could have been in the 90s or anything.
Right. Whereas the there was no like joke of it in Happy Days. It was like,
but it's just the 50s.
It's just the 50s. It's a comedy show set in the 50s.
Right.
Whereas I feel like with that 70s show, it was like, get it? It's the 70s. Like that was
we're
the
in
joke.
bell bottoms and stuff.
I mean, it's called that 70s show. That'd be like Happy Days being called
that 50s show.
Yeah.
Oh shit. So was Mork and Mindy in the 50s?
I doubt it. I bet they got slippy. Was Laverne and Shirley?
That I don't know. Man, I don't know.
I don't think Laverne and Shirley was supposed to be in the 50s, but it could have been. Who the fuck knows?
Gosh, dang. That's really interesting. I never thought about that. And then the Wonder Years obviously is like pretty heavily like, this is the 70s, dude, because it's like Vietnam War and stuff. Like, doesn't somebody's brother get killed in the war like in episode 1?
Jesus, probably.
I think so. Like that was like the crux of the episode was like, wow, shit's pretty heavy, man. I guess things aren't going to be the same going into 7th grade. Like,
God,
yeah, like that kind of like, yeah.
So we have the Goldbergs now.
Everybody Hates Chris, I think, took place in the 80s. Or no, maybe that was the 70s too.
Fresh Off the Boat takes place in the 90s.
Okay.
I really want to watch that because it takes place.
Because Danny Brown does the theme song.
Is that?
He's a rapper. He's a pretty far out rapper.
Does he do the theme song for real?
I believe he does.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I just learned that.
So it takes place in Orlando in the 90s.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, for us.
Yeah, for us it's great.
For other people, it's like, who cares?
Yeah. Well, that's like that time that one of us found the video and showed it to the other one, and it's just somebody with a camcorder in like the late 80s.
In like a 7-Eleven.
At like 11 o'clock at night in Orlando. And it was before everyone had like cameras and stuff, so everyone's just like, oh, cool, like, hey, I'm on camera, like, and just, they're like, what you buying there, bud? And you're like, hey, I got myself a Kit Kat, I'm going to split it with my girlfriend. Like, and that's just, everyone's just like having fun at 11 o'clock at night in 7-Eleven in Orlando. It's just like a 20-minute video of just like, this is what life was.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah. And it's never going to be that good.
No.
And even then it was bad.
Oh, yeah.
Like if all you did was just watch videos, like the fun YouTube videos, that are going around right now, you'd be like, man, the 2000s were so cool. It was like so stress-free.
Would you?
If it was like 30 years from now, when we're all living like in a fire hellstorm, like,
and then you just, I wish I could eat a Tide Pod.
Smell you later. So yeah, if you want some of my comics or whatever, I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know if I want them.
Well,
Thank you for playing Arcade Audio. Play more at arcadeaudio.net.